So for today's adventure, we are in Mount Rainier National Park, hiking the Van Trump Trail into Comet Falls and then into Van Trump Park. We have a goal today to take the Van Trump Trail into Van Trump Park as far as the trail goes before it terminates. The hike today should be a little over 7 miles, we think, and about 3,300 feet of elevation gain. But it's a little bit ambiguous because you don't know exactly where the Van Trump Trail is going to terminate up in the Van Trump Park. So at some point it should just become socially engineered and you have to decide when you're going to turn around. Anyways, today's adventure, Comet Falls and Van Trump Park via the Van Trump Trail in Mount Rainier National Park. So 1.3 miles and 850 feet of elevation gain. We're at the stairway to heaven. Those are some big steps. Got to stretch the legs a bit. 1.4 miles now, 950 feet of elevation gain. And there's this nice stretch through the boulders that I find visually interesting. I just have to keep up with my mountain goat kids. Stop working out during the week so I can keep up. Yes. So now we're at 1.6 miles and a little over 1,100 feet of elevation gain. We have a bridge crossing, and I think if you walk just a little bit upstream from this bridge, there's a nice waterfall to see. So I'm gonna walk up and look at it even though it's off trail. .7 miles and 1,200 feet of elevation gain. We just opened up on our first view of Comet Falls. We're gonna go in and hike to the base of the falls before we head on up to Van Trump Park. I like that it always has that rainbow. It did the last time we were here too, as long as there's sun out shining on it. All right, we just need to take a kayak off the top. All right, so we're leaving Comet Falls and now we're continuing our way up into Van Trump Park. So 2.5 miles and 1,800 feet of elevation gain. We're still grinding our way up into Van Trump Park. And it is an aggressive climb. So about 2.6 miles and almost 2,000 feet of elevation gain. This is the intersection with the Comet Falls Trail. And then we're gonna stay right on the Van Trump Trail into Van Trump Park. So 2.9 miles in and 2,200 feet of elevation gain. We just hit the end of the maintained Van Trump Trail. And now it's gonna be a matter of following the socially engineered trail until it terminates in a natural way. So we're at 3.2 miles and 2,500 feet of elevation gain. I think we're going to try to go a little bit further before we call it a wrap. We still have some socially engineered trail here, so we're in good shape still. I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping there'd be some animals up here today. The lupin's still pretty vibrant up here, isn't it? You see the bear scat with all the blueberry in it? The purple scat pile? Wonder what they're eating. That's definitely the source for Van Trump Creek. Well up above Comet Falls, huh? So we're almost 4 miles in right now. I'm not sure what our elevation gain is. You guys know?
2,758.
2,758 feet. There's Mount St. Helens just off to the right in the video. And as I spin to the left, we're going to pick up Mount Adams here in just a moment. And then I'm too zoomed in to spin much past that without just getting a rock wall. So that's about where we will stop the rotation. That's beautiful though. And the smell coming through the lupin field down below was intense. It was fantastic. 4 miles is further than I thought we would be able to make it, based on what I had seen in the map, but there's still some trail here. It's more a matter of whether I have the energy to keep climbing. It's been relentless. Like, there's not much in the way of flat relief on this hike. It's a leg day hike. All right, time for me to get my last panorama video before we wimp out and head down. Because I think I'm ready to I'm ready to enjoy the descent. Yeah, down's gonna need to be taken slowly because it's steep. You got a spider on you? View's great from up here though. This was worth doing. You definitely have to work for it though. Of course, you sit down for a 10-minute break and then your watch says, "Are you done working out? Are you slacking now? Is this workout ready to be done?"
Eventually you just have to say yes.
So 3.7 miles. 3,000 feet of elevation gained roughly, and the descent or egress to the trailhead has now commenced.
Good job.
And I notice neither girl wants to trail run right now.
leg. I like got halfway back up and wobbled.
4.7 miles, almost 4.8, and our walk through Van Trump Park is almost done, and we're about ready to begin the descent to Comet Falls. I think we're going to take the Comet Falls trail to the right when we get to the trail junction and go a little ways down and see if we can get a view of the upper Comet Falls before we head down towards the trailhead. So 5.1 miles. We're back at the intersection with the Van Trump and Comet Falls Trail. We're going to take a quick detour to the west on Comet Falls Trail to see if there is a viewpoint that lets you see the upper Comet Falls. Now we're back from our side trip to Upper Comet Falls, and we're beginning the descent of Van Trump Trail to Lower Comet Falls in earnest. When you walk up to it, it definitely looks like it's just a straight drop off instead of steps. So about 8 miles. And roughly 3,300 feet of elevation gain. We are almost back to the trailhead, so we're going to call Comet Falls and Van Trump Park.
In the bag!
It's in the bag. Definitely a tough grind all the way with very few breaks from climbing, but the return on effort, definitely worth it. Fantastic views, both of the falls and in Van Trump Park. The views of the mountains are fantastic. Anyways, Comet Falls and Van Trump Park are in the bag, and the young ladies say,
Get outside!
and get sore legs.